you for joining us on Woman 360. On the program tonight, we are focusing on independence. Of course, the just ended week was full of the Zambian colors, and Zambia was celebrating its 48th birthday. Now, on Independence Day itself on a Wednesday, the president honored the wives of the heroes. Now, this was a very good gesture. This is 360 Degrees of Women Issues, and my name is Judy Ngulube. Now, while we are still in the mood of independence, in the mood of, how Zambia gained its independence and the freedom fighters, we have the privilege of having two women who were there before 1964 and who are still with us right now, and they walk us through the journey of Zambia getting its independence. I had an opportunity to talk to Mama Kankasa as well as Kristen Mulundika, who gave us their experience and their view on Zambia's independence and what it is today. They've even actually compared a bit of the woman of today and the woman of then. So listen to this.
From the early age of 10 years, I admired, my mother was a politician. So I admired what she was doing, and I hated the things that I saw, like we go to a butchery and she's being given meat through a window. And then one time I went with her, she wanted to buy a dress for me. And this man, we found that just at the door of Keys shops, where now there's a bank now. It used to be CBC. This man just says, Tengani ameni dress kumulyango. And the dress was big. It could suit a 20-year-old girl. Then my mother said, but she's not this big to suit in this dress. And I said, Tengani chapenga tisimufuna endani. Yeah, get it, or if you don't want to go. So I was going to a boarding school the following day.
And how old were you then, you said?
And then I said, how can I wear such a big dress? Then my mother said, no, we are going to make it small. Just get it. I got that dress and I never wore it. And it helped me to really fight. Because even at school, I was looking at anybody white as an enemy of the Africans. So I kept this dress, and each time I had a quarrel with the sisters or any teacher who was white, I would bring out this dress and say, you see, they sold me this big dress, and you think I'm a fool to wear such a big dress?
I'm sure I'm giving you an example of Mama Judy Ngulube and Emilia side. That day, it was wonderful. All men shine themselves, to go on front when Macmillan came. But Emilia side and Judy Ngulube showed them that the women also can do something. And they showed Macmillan their bare-breasted. And that was a sign of saying, we are annoyed. A Zambian woman, when you see him throwing the dress or the blouse and whatever she has on top of her body, it means that she's annoyed. That is the sign which these two important women showed to a foreigner who came to find out about what is going on in Northern Rhodesia. You can see. So, they too, we too, were very dynamic in saying it that we get independence and we rule ourselves. The independence we got was for men, was for the youth, our children, was for us as women.
I think the basic virtues of the youths of yesteryear was service and selflessness, volunteering to do things for the good of the community. The struggle for independence was not a struggle for money, it was a struggle for a free state. Okay? You did not expect to be paid at the end of it. Now you can't even organize a small political rally without buying these used to giri or some similar such drinks, because that's the culture that has emerged, especially in the post-one party state. The post-one party state era has also actually destroyed some of the moral fabric of our society through a huge unemployment, the devastation of the economy in the Chiruba years. That happened to this country. It also demoralized the youth. The youth had nothing to look forward to. The youth of yesteryear had a passion for a new emerging nation. Okay, they wanted to go to school, they wanted to run state affairs. These are the VJs that we talk about. They were the youth of those days, all right? Now, so there was a certain sense of purpose, building a new nation in which the youth were mobilized through the Boy Scouts movements and all those, never mind the UNIP Youth League itself. And the youth were reasonably moving into the arenas of education and getting better educated. You could go into a village by the 70s, really, and communicate in reasonable minimum English. You wouldn't find easily in the 70s someone in their 20s who can't speak a word of English. This is what you find now. Over the years, our education has declined in terms of quality of delivery. Many of the youths have fallen out of the school system, not entirely out of their own, because of their own fault, because the system has failed them over the years. They've fallen out of the school system, there are no jobs for them. I'll tell you, when I was at the University of Zambia in the 70s, the university used to have 3 months holidays. I used to work during those 3 months and make a living for myself. So I would go with pocket money to the university. You can't find that now easily. That kind of situation. So it puts the youths much more at peril, inevitably, in the context of a modernizing world, new television and new modern culture. They're exposed to so much and they possess so little. Inevitably, their value system has moved away from the passions of the yesteryear. They are into either, sex and drugs or into soccer, much more than anything else. But they have lost the larger vision and passion that the youth who built this country did. But I think, in my view, I don't think you can blame the youth. The generation of people bequeathing values to the youth has gone and has not been replaced. When you have 65% of your population being youth, who is guiding them? It means that the elders have disappeared either through death, in the form of disease and old age, with the HIV/AIDS pandemic now. Many of these youths have emerged in households that have no parents. So inevitably, their value system is totally skewed. It's not the kind of value system you had. And you really need a very different approach to dealing with the youth of today, to give them a sense of mission, a sense of hope, and a sense of vision. To do that, you need to give them the skills, the training, and the education.
Well, I think you people of today really don't mind what the suffering. This is what I've seen. With us, we didn't want to see any woman suffer. That's why we encourage them to be in the struggle, so that when we get independence, we really share this independence equally. And I can tell you that we were sort of disappointed at independence, because we were like, pushed into the women's league. Most of the leaders that they were in the women's league, and the men, they called it main body, MAIN. The main body was supposed to be the leadership. Then the woman was supposed to be the women's league, and the youth league. That did not satisfy us, most of us, because for me, I didn't join the leadership of the women's league. I went into the men's, the main body.
First and foremost, my dear girl, let us thank God to make us reach the 48th birthday of our country. It is not easy, since most of our friends whom we worked with during the struggle, they are all gone. They are no more. But for us who are still mingling with you, it is a blessing from God. However, according to your question, the women of the past, during the struggle for independence, they too were very dynamic in seeing to it that we fight and we get independence so that we can rule ourselves. Women of that time, they were working hand in hand with their menfolk in liberating themselves. They had their own special role to play. We were, cooking for our political leaders whenever we are having a meeting, for them to fight strongly. They have to eat. And that was a very important role women did. Not only that, sometimes they also used to be on front, men behind, and we rule ourselves. The independence we got was for men, was for the youth, our children, was for us as women. You know, in any given country, the fight to be in a reality unless there is a participation of a woman folk. You hear me?
Yes. And now, Mama, now that you've mentioned children and the youth, how was it growing up before independence?
Before independence, they too, the youth, joined the struggle. We had a very, very strong young man, like Mr. Alexander Chikwanda. He was our youth, and he was very strong that time, together with his friends, Seferino Mulenga, and the other youth whom we had. They were not fearing a white man. Definitely. Now, this time, the way I look at it, Zambian women, young ones, they are so committed. First, in having proper education, we are having professors, we are having doctors, we are having different type of women in different type of fields of education. That is a very important determination. You know, education is just like an eye. I'm looking at you. I have seen your beauty because I have got eyes, as well as education. You can say the star is a limit if you have education. You can see. So have seen that they too, their revolution, men have done something in this country. In all fields of human endeavor, a woman is there, a Zambian woman is there. So good. Lovely.
Tell us, who is Christine Mulundika?
She's just a simple woman as you see her here, but who has done a lot for this country, maybe sometimes behind scenes and sometimes in the open, like if I can say that during the struggle for this nation, I was very much there, although I was a teacher at the time. But my teaching profession did not really bar me from becoming a politician. Because from the early age of 10 years, I admired, my mother was a politician. So I admired what she was doing, and I hated the things that I saw, like we go to a butchery and she's being given meat through a window. And then one time I went with her, she wanted to buy a dress for me. And this man, we found that just at the door of Keys shops, where now there's a bank now. It used to be CBC. This man just says, Tengani, how many dresses yangu? And the dress was big. It could suit a 20-year-old girl. Then my mother said, but she's not this big to suit in this dress. I said, Tengani chapenga tisimfuna endani. Yeah, get it, or if you don't want to go. So I was going to a boarding school the following day.
And how old were you then, you said?
And then I said, how can I wear such a big dress? Then my mother said, no, we are going to make it small. Just get it. I got that dress and I never wore it. And it helped me to really fight. Because even at school, I was looking at anybody white as an enemy of the Africans. So I kept this dress, and each time I had a quarrel with the sisters or any teacher who was white, I would bring out this dress and say, you see, they sold me this big dress, and you think I'm a fool to wear such a big dress? So I continued, and after my training, I started teaching, and I joined politics on the Copper Belt, first in Lusaka.
Who were you then when you joined politics?
I think I was 17 at that time.
Okay, that's very young.
Yes, yes. So I fortunately found Mama Chikamoneka. I was teaching at St. Monica in Matero. And she really, impressed me on what she was doing. A woman who never went to school, but she was able to argue with white people, with anybody who really wanted to argue or wanted to impress on her. She would tell them that we are Africans, we want our own independence. So I joined her, and I worked with her very well while a teacher. And it meant that after school, I had to run away to go and join Julia Chikamoneka in her activities. Then I got married in 1961, and we were transferred to the Copper Belt. There again, I met another very strong lady. She's late now, Eunice Caputo. And then I continued my activities while as a teacher. And it was really hard to be a teacher and a politician. Yes, besides Eunice Caputo, This was before independence. I also met Esther Banda. I met Mrs. Kankasa at a distance. She was in Ethiopia. So, because I think our culture in those days in politics, we had respect for elders, and you did not go to say, oh, I'm also fighting, and you know, they show you that is Mama Kankasa. Then you just admire, you want to be like her. So, we fought until.
But how was it as women then? Because, you know, even now, if you go very traditional, a woman can't be in the forefront and very, you know, strong fighting for such causes. How easy was it?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It first with our fellow men, because they would look at us like wives. But no, we proved that we are more than wives. We could fight with them. You would go in the night to organize the people. If, for example, Dr. Kaunda was coming to visit the Copper Belt, it was our duty now to go door to door to say, this is what is expected of you tomorrow. So we would go even in the night, you know. Fortunately, I had a husband who was understanding. Okay, he was a civil servant, so he could not go into the forefront. But he was, yes, so those are some of the activities. Other activities were really dangerous because in Ikwacha, where we were staying, we were living with an uncle of my husband, who was very much ANC, Mr. Chindere. And then when they heard that we had come to Kitwe, the wife thought, you know, she automatically thought we are also ANC. When she found out that we were not, it was my fault. So she would come and insult me every morning. You have, you know, you have taken my son to your stupid unip and so forth. Now she's my mother-in-law. I could not answer. You know, I would just say, no, we joined together. No, you are telling lies. So, okay, I would accept. But then there would be activities in the night. She would send her youth to come and stone our house. Then also I would retaliate, not the same time, but also in the next night, I would organize my youth also to go and give them buns. You know, we called stones buns. Buns. Then they would go and stone their house also. But my youths were stronger. So I think she gave up in the process to think that this woman is crazy.
I think it is, but there are conditions for that. And why I say that is that the political landscape in this country favors men more than women. And I'll tell you a simple example. To go into politics of the opposition is a risk. You will lose your job, you know, and you know it has happened to some people already. What it means that is women become now bearers of families. Because if the women sacrifice that role and join politics, what will happen? That many of the families will suffer. They are holders of family institutions now.
Yes, they can have a woman president. As I told you, that these women have been having proper education. Proper education means that she can stand on her own right as a president. What is required, the medicine in between, is they should have love. They should have respect to their women folk. If they have this, they look at a common woman as the same. Zambia can elect her as a president.
I think so. I think so. Well, what I see is that I think we still have some fear of challenging the men. And you know, we are not well established financially as women. And then this is a difficult thing, because when you join politics, you want to challenge, you must be financially sound. Now, I don't know whether we are that financially sound, but if it was everything equal, we would get a woman president without really much difficulty. Okay. Because we have women in this country who are really intelligent, who can think for the people of Zambia.
Well, that definitely was an interesting chat with the two women there. That is it for Women 360 today. Join me next week at the same time for more women issues. I'm Judy Ngulube. Good night and God bless. Hello, and thank you for joining us on Woman 360. Tonight, I'm a very excited person because I'm talking to two people whom, when I first met, really made me believe that